I have an agenda. Am I talking my turn? Okay, I have an agenda.
Well, or we can get refreshments at any point, help yourselves. Robert can speak because he's got a lot of good things to impart, so help yourself to the back.
This agenda is all about people. I'll list them, not in the order that we're going to talk about. Elsie Ottis. Does anybody else remember Elsie Ottis? Bernice Lingholm. Darlene Dover. Where's Darlene? Here's Darlene. And we have Marcia Pelzo over there that had the
City clerk.
The administrator office. Corky Iverson, Kevin Schaefer, and Doug Poplin. And we have here friends of the library, of course. All of you. How many members are here are the friends of the library? 1, 2, 3.
You know, you can all raise your hands, you're all friends.
So we have Charlotte. I think Charlotte's been you've been the chairman, right?
2007.
Carol Thompson, I couldn't get her to come tonight. She's in. And Sarah Long is one of our librarians. Where's Sarah? There, okay. And Jake, where's Jake?
Jake is
over here. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to start off by talking about, you've already have read the history of the library. But when I came here 52 years ago, it was Elsie Ottis. Does anybody remember besides? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, wasn't it Elsie Ottis? Yeah. She was running it behind the liquor store in a small room, which they tell me now is somebody's living in it. Used to have a case of liquor in there, but now somebody's living in it. And it was getting smaller than this room. So anyway, I mentioned Marcia Pelzo. At the time, Nancy wanted to give some money, so she gave $20,000. Is that right? Yeah, gave $20,000 to Marcia, and she was looking at Romy Othman's restaurant over here for a library. Well, that didn't pan out. So then she went down to the community center, and she wanted to make that into a library. That didn't pan out. So that's what happened. So finally, Marcia says, I got this check for $20,000. What am I going to do with it? 2 years later. And they said, well, give it back to her, right? I think you were there. So, Kevin, maybe you can tell us a little bit what happened there. How did we get the library? We had the water tower that was built, and there were a couple other things.
Water tower is a little bit separate at a different time, but a little bit later. But it really stemmed from there was always this talk in town, the need of a better library, and then at the same time, Chief of Police at that time, Larry Dahlman, had made a comment how unusable their office was at the police department at the lower eastern end of the fire hall, and how much better it would be if they could have something better. And Larry Dahlman actually had the idea of, there's always this talk that we need a better library, and we do. What if a new home was found for the library? Could the police department, you think, have the existing library quarters? And at the time, I was in office as the mayor at the time, and I said it's a very good idea. Let's get this going. Let's talk about it. And then it would be brought up at the many council meetings from that time forth. And actually, there was a talk in your establishment, your institution, Robert, about a new bank facility. You had an ongoing trend of building a new bank every 50 years. And then the minds just came together, and the talk was that things could be worked out, and it'd be a win-win on so many different fronts. Eventually, the police department moved into the library quarters. This building was built for the brand new library, and the former First National Bank building became the new City Hall, which got us out from behind the liquor store. And the new First National Bank lays on the lot right to the north of it.
Thank you. The reason I called on Kevin, because he's a mayor at one time, he knew what was going on. I also like to introduce Dean Erdahl. Dean is one of our representatives, and, do you want to say something?
You're asking a politician. Just a very few words. When I was here for the parade a couple weeks ago, I was asked if I'd come by here too, and certainly to honor the contributions of Robert and his wife to libraries. I mean, one of the most important things that I think remain with our small towns are public libraries. These are very important gathering places, places of knowledge, plus the fact that I have 9 published books I wanted to talk about. So I have a special love for libraries. But congratulations to the community for what you've done here, and to Robert for the contributions that he has made. And feel free, if you have any other issues you want to talk to me about, get in touch with me. Good to see you. Thank you.
Good seeing you, Dean.
I'd like to introduce my family that has come from Corvallis.
Yes.
This guy here on the floor, he was born in Shanghai, and his mother was born in Taipei.
No, Taiwan.
And
This one's born in Corvallis, and my
Sam,
dad.
why don't you tell about polo in his school, please? I always seem to get them mixed up.
Well, he's just finished kindergarten. He's going into 1st grade. So
And what does he
he
say
loves
about
his friends. He likes going to school and see his friends, but he's not so keen on the rules.
Doesn't like rules. And
He's a rebel.
so I think a lot of us have come from all over the country. You know, I came from Montana. Sam came from New Ulm. Our oldest boy was born in Manhattan, and our middle son was born in Fargo. And I imagine a lot of you were born someplace. Anyway, getting back to this picture, Bernice said to me, she said, is it possible that we get this picture? I said, no, I had given it to Darlene. So I called Darlene, I said, Darlene, Bernice would like to have that picture. Well, she said, that's fine. So here it is, right? Is that how it took place?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess now you want to get it framed, right?
Now we're gonna go ahead and get it framed, so we hang it on the wall.
It's fine.
So I think I pretty well covered everything. I'm sure some of you got some remarks about the library and how it progressed, and I'm going to call on all of you to say something about it that you remember. Anybody remember something about the library? I remember one thing. Corky Iverson said to me, he said, you know, if you join the Pelican, what do you call it? Park Rapids. What do they call it? Pioneer. If you join Pioneer, the county's going to have to pay for it. Well, that was a big threshold. So, and then one party said to me, if you join, we're going to lose all our books. And I didn't think that was going to be too bad, because you know you exchange books a lot. So anyway, the books are gone, the books are here. So anybody else got something to say? I'm sure you got something. No? No?
I do.
Okay, yeah, Darlene.
Only because of the fact that when Carol Thompson had the library, she was a blessing in disguise. Because my mom was in her home, on her own on the south end of town. Then she went to assisted living. My mom is like I am. There's a book being read in every room of the house, including the bathroom. And Carol would go ahead, after my mom got to the point where she wasn't driving hardly at all and whatever, Carol would go ahead and get books together in a bag and take them down to my mom. And I know she did it to more than just my mom. I know she did it to umpteen people. But to have somebody so committed to the library and taking care of your older people in a town that is basically older people, she did the library wonders.
Well, I guess you know the library is 100 years old, according to Louise, right? It's 100 years old, so that's quite a commemorative thing right there. I think that pretty well concludes what I had to say here. I said I had a list of agenda of people, and I just went through the people. So I think that's pretty well takes care of it.